What is your favorite part of what you do?
My favorite part about what I do is making sure that whoever I'm working for, or with rather, feels like a rock star. Like wedding couple, bar, bat mitzvah, boy or girl, doesn't matter.
Do you like the pressure?
Yeah.
Because I know when I got married, like the MC ran the show. If we had a terrible MC, our wedding would have been awful.
Okay.
So
I would agree
it's
to
a
that,
lot of
but
pressure.
It is, but I think when you're prepared, you need to have a plan. When you have a plan, it's like anything.
Yeah.
I think there's pressure in anything. I mean, when you're making a presentation in front of people, you need to have a plan.
This is someone's wedding. This is like their
It
day.
is the biggest day.
Yeah.
Right after meeting Dave Grohl. Some people don't even have that opportunity.
Right. I
So
mean,
it could be,
it could be
important.
someone's number 3.
Right. Could be someone's number 1. So the thing is, up until you had your kids, your wedding was up there.
Yes.
Right.
It was number 1.
Right. It was number 1. Then you met Dave Grohl, and then it,
It bumped.
understandably
Because at the time I
so.
was still pregnant.
Right.
So it was number 2 for about a month.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, look, life goes on, and sometimes you got to bump those things. Often people say that the day that they have their children is the best of their lives. I hold nothing against that. I understand that.
Yeah.
But for a good portion of your life, the wedding is probably your biggest day of your life. If you're a bar mitzvah boy or girl, and you're celebrating your bar mitzvah, that's huge. That's important. And that at that point in your life is the biggest day in your life, probably until your wedding. So that holds a lot of weight. So I think there's pressure to a degree because you're just out there doing your job. But I think with preparation, if you're ready, you're ready. And I feel like when I get prepared, it's like I'm as prepared as I'll ever be. And whatever happens, happens, because I need to also know how to adjust.
Yeah.
I always tell clients, things never go 100% as planned.
Yeah.
And you need to know how to adjust. And my job is to make sure that I'm adjusting well enough that your guests don't know that things aren't going as planned.
Right.
I'm sure you probably experienced some things during your wedding that weren't exactly planned.
Right.
But life goes on. You made the adjustments. So you get married down the shore?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
So outdoor wedding?
The ceremony was outside. It was like the hottest day in August. And I remember the sun was so bright. We took our pictures on the beach, and you have to face the sun, like for the lighting. And our photographer was like, okay, everyone close your eyes. I'm gonna count to 3 and open them. Stare directly into the sun. We were all like, so all of our wedding pictures were all like, it's terrible. But
That's okay.
yeah, that's where
so
we got married.
Your advice for future brides-to-be that are watching, as far as planning, necessarily photography or video or event entertainment, how should they go about it, and how do they keep from basically getting stressed out, which I think is a bride's number 1 fear?
See, if I could go back and do it all over again, I would be a little bit more of a bridezilla, because I was like.
Also, I don't support that term. I think that's you're a product of your environment if you're a bridezilla, because if you get stressed out, the people around you aren't calming you down, or they're not the right people.
Okay.
In my opinion. But go on, you would be a little bit more selective, I think is what you're trying to say.
Maybe I'd be a little bit more hands-on.
Okay.
I was very laid back. I didn't really, I went with the flow for everything. So I think
Not always a bad thing.
I think I would have been a little bit more hands-on. I would have done a few things differently.
A little bit more interaction.
Yeah. The one thing I can say is the entertainment for your wedding is probably the biggest.
Right. I didn't pay you to say that.
No,
Here.
no, not at all. But when we go back, we watch our wedding video every anniversary. And we laugh so hard when we get to our ceremony, or not our ceremony.
Reception.
Our reception. Because from the second we walked in, everyone was dancing and having a good time, and it just never stopped, you know?
That's what you want.
And there was like a 5-minute portion of someone doing a rap that the whole thing is on our video.
Great.
But,
also, you bring up another point, video.
Yeah.
And this whole thing is being captured by GBH Events. Might as well just get the plug in there then.
Thank you, GBH Events.
GBH Events, and they do amazing work as far as event, cinematography.
Very well.
So I think it is important. How often do you sit down and actually watch your videos?
Yeah, we
Quite
do it
often.
every anniversary. So we watch it every year.
There you go.
And when you get to that part, it's just, that is so important. Because we went to a wedding, right before we got married, and it was like an awkward school dance. Like the lights were on, the MC never said anything, and they messed up all the music. So it was like very awkward. He didn't really know what to do. And the guy that did our wedding was amazing. He just took everything over. It was nonstop the whole time, and it was just fun. Like
everything probably flowed the right way, because he had a plan put in place.
And there were like someone went up and gave my husband's in a band. Someone went up and gave him my husband's CD and like had him play a song. So it was like, you know, he incorporated like a lot of personal touches, and
I think that's the biggest thing. You got to make it personalized. Now we live in a society where it's kind of like I don't mean this in a negative way, but a me society. And you know, people will say that about, you know, our generation, but you've told us our whole lives that we're unique and special, and then what do you expect? So, but we are all unique and special, and we want to now portray that. So with something like a wedding celebration, I always, when I meet with clients, I say, look, you have to incorporate something that's going to be unique, and people walk away going, oh man, that was so-and-so's wedding. That was Rachel and Matt's wedding. That was amazing. Like they walk away with that, and they won't associate that with anybody else. And I think you'll have your traditional elements. You got to do grand entrances. You have to do the parent dances, you know, if it's viable.
We
you have
did
to do your first dance.
like the garter and the bouquet. A lot of people don't do that anymore.
Right, they skip the garter and the bouquet. A lot of brides are skipping the garter and just doing just the bouquet. But it's a subjective thing. Whatever you're into, whatever you enjoy.
I wanted it to be very classic. You know, I wanted all of those classic elements, like the cutting of the cake and the dances and the garter and the bouquet and all that stuff. But we also had a lot of fun.